Everybody, welcome back to Off the Wall. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sol.
It's -4 here in Dayton, Ohio. It's 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's freezing in my studio. What's it like where you're at, Sol?
75 degrees.
Shut up. Anyway,
Yes.
I did. Shut up. So we're here to talk about the Netflix series I Hate Christmas, which I don't have a lot of background info on myself because there wasn't much to find online. It's an Italian Netflix series. I believe it's a remake of something, Sol.
I actually don't know about that. I just know that Netflix was really pushing it. And typically Netflix, like when you're in English speaking countries, they're not pushing foreign language stuff. You have to go and find it. And typically like the foreign language stuff is actually some of their better original content. Like their English language stuff is not as good as their foreign language stuff. So I was very surprised where I was like, oh, we got to watch this. We got to watch this. And when we finally saw the trailer, we're like, it's in Italian.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, yay. Shit. Like I'm gonna have to really pay attention.
But you can watch it in English. They do have an English dub, and it's British.
Which is how I watched it. Full disclosure, I watched the dubbed version. Because like I occasionally I have to look away, and so it's nice that I can still hear what's being said. It's been a busy couple weeks, guys.
For me, I wanted to watch it in Italian because with me, I'm always watching the original language. But I was watching it with my mom, and she doesn't watch as much anime as me, so she cannot read the subtitles as fast as me. And they were talking very fast in Italian.
Were
like they? A mile a minute. So she was like, can we watch this in English? Like my mom like watches a lot of foreign stuff and reads subtitles, but they were talking so fast that for her it was very hard to read the subtitles, so that we switched to the English version.
Italian's one of those languages that like kind of the people who speak it naturally speak it very fast. Different countries and with their own languages have different ways of speaking them, and Italians speak very fast. There were a couple times where like if a particular scene really I was like that's good, I would go back and rewatch it in Italian just to get the actual actors, because when it's a voice acting, it's it's hit or miss.
Right.
Look at Eve's Squid Game. The version's so bad. But for my own ease of, because this was a this is something I wasn't exactly like super excited about. Like this wasn't like something where I was like I knew I was going to be locked in. I was like, this is kind of a rom-com series. I know that there's a good chance I'm going to zone out at some point unless it's just that captivating, for the sake of still following along, or because like I've been working from home a lot lately, just to help with that. So it was good for me. But the stuff I did watch in Italian, very good overall. I just general thoughts. I didn't love the show, didn't hate it. For me, it was fine. It's not my usual fare, but it was as far again of the Christmas stuff we watched this year. It's fine. Yeah, it's one of the better ones, I think.
100%. For me, I really liked it. It is, full disclosure, very chick flicky. And there's times when I'm in a chick flicky mood and watching it, and I'm like, I related to so many of the characters in it, and just like the things that they were talking about. And then I think they did a lot of things really smart, especially like kind of the ending was very smart, and going in with the themes of Christmas too. So not only was this chick flicky and fun and rom-com like, it also was Christmassy because it went into Christmas themes, and you got to see a little bit of how another country does Christmas too.
Yeah, that was kind of the part I was looking forward to the most, and I kind of wanted more of that. Like I loved the stuff like with her and her dad, and when they're like playing with the figures and throwing the paper in the fire, and I was like, I love this. I kind
Mm.
of wish this was the show. Um,
Because
but
you
like,
love Christmas.
because I love Christmas. I'm so excited for this weekend. But also just like I love when you're talking about something that's supposed to be a Christmas story.
Hmm.
You know, when we like the Noel Diary, I adored that movie.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily call it a Christmas movie.
right.
It's a movie that takes place at Christmas. This one was kind of the same. I mean, like, yeah, I know like Christmas gives us that ticking clock for the show.
Hmm.
Um, you could have set that for Easter. You know, Easter's big over in Italy. You could have set that for a lot of things. So I kind of wish it had either been more of a Christmas show or just take the Christmas part out of it and just make it just a compelling, you know, romantic comedy series. Um, but I think it towed that line actually very well
Yeah.
from
I,
beginning to
I, I like the amount of Christmas that is in it because it didn't overpower the show,
end.
but you still had the themes kind of Christmas. And like, even at the end when she goes, like, I didn't know what Christmas was about, really, like, kind of thing. And like, speaking on, and I love kind of like, so speaking of tropes, and tropes are there for a reason. One of the tropes that I hate in rom-coms is when it's just like, you can't love someone until you love yourself. I
Oh, I
hate
hate
that
that.
one.
I hate that so much.
I hate it so much.
It's so bad.
And I thought they were going to go down that route, and they didn't. They did another trope, which I like much more, which was you can't expect someone to fully love you unless you put love out into the world as well. Which
Yeah,
that is a theme of Christmas as well, but it's also a theme just of life in general. So
yeah,
they bring a lot of real world life stuff, but then around the Christmas stuff, and then also building the nativity scene for in the window and the competition with that, and like them going out and finding mistletoe and like decorations and stuff
oh,
at the
yeah,
very beginning
that
of
was
the
cute.
first episode. So you have these little inserts of Christmas, and then the rest is rom com. Where I think with like the Noel Diary, it was set at Christmas, and you had some inserts here and there, but they were way less than what was in this show.
Yeah, there were certain points with the show. I liked the decision to make it a show. Like I liked having her kind of narrate the whole thing.
Hmm.
I think this could have also. I'm curious about the decision to make it into a show. I feel like there were times where in the episodes I was like, we're spending a lot of time on this thing that's ultimately not going to go anywhere. So it was almost like I almost feel like we could have montaged that and maybe just made it into a movie because the episode's only like 35 minutes long.
Yeah,
It's just just for the sake of pacing. There were sometimes I feel like we're pacing this out just to make it into a full episode, and it probably could have just been like taking these 2 or 3 episodes and made them into one. But it's the show itself. Even if you're not as into it, it's mercifully short. It's
yeah.
eight
You
eight episodes.
six
Six.
episodes that range from 25 to 35 minutes.
Yeah, so it's an easy watch, even
Yeah.
if you're kind of like I was like by the time I got to the end, I was like, yeah,
Mm.
it's good. Um, I just felt like maybe I was like this could have just been a movie. This could have been a movie.
I'm glad it was a show though, because in a lot of movies you do get it in a montage, and then you miss some themes and you miss some stuff out. And I know, like, you and I are both like, the montage was the best part. Why didn't they extend that
Yeah,
sometimes in movies? So you
yeah.
actually got to see it extended out, and I liked it
We're
because it was
gonna need a
showing
montage.
I had it somewhere and I couldn't find it.
like we but with it, I liked that it was extended out because that is the holidays are real. When you're trying to, like, when you have a deadline of, basically what it is she tells her family, gives her shit because she's the only single one in her family. And like, basically she tells them, I'm bringing a boyfriend over for Christmas Eve dinner, which they do Christmas Eve dinner just like the Latinos do Christmas Eve dinner as well. um
How do you guys do it? Just
you
it's a big
just
family thing.
Yeah, you have it on the 20, you have it on the night of the 24th instead of having it on the night of the 25th.
Oh, you see, I grew up white, so for us, it's always been Christmas
Yeah,
Day. I wasn't sure. I was like,
although very white people, the Germans also do the 24th as well.
you know, I'm German on my mom's side. We've never done that. It's always been Christmas Day for us. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's because there's just so goddamn many of us.
But, so like with us, yeah, we do the 24th. For us, we call it Noche Buena, which their Christmas is Buen Natale, which very close. But I like because you have there's the ticking time clock of Christmas. I gotta have someone by the 24th, the night of the 24th, to bring to family who is age appropriate. Kind of because we do have
No
that
19-year-olds.
no 19-year-olds, which that was a fun moment where it played into where there's this comedian Taylor Tomlinson where he talked like the difference between guys and girls, where like girls are really surprised when a guy can get her off, and guys are really surprised when a girl can really make him feel genuine feelings in his heart. It's like where the girl's like, he got me off like 3 times, and the guy will be like, I love her. Knew you could get there, buddy. Like, and
1000% true.
So, like, the fact too, like, there's the funny, like, oh, we had sex 5 times last night, like that part, and
It
like,
should have had me going.
so like the conversation that the girls are having, like those are like we talk about sex and boys and stuff just as much as guys do, and those are the actual, like, that was so real life there, like having a drink, talking about boys. And I love too that, and it's tropey, but you'll have each character, like you have the friend who's a virgin who's waiting till marriage, who like you context clues is a little bit more religious than everyone else, and like really is innocent and truly believes in love and all of these things, and like has someone leaving her paper cranes, and she thinks it's one guy but it's actually another guy. And so that part, like you have the cute stuff with her, and then you have one friend, for lack of better terms, is the slutty friend, the one that goes out every night but does not stay the night with the guys, comes home until she finds someone who, like, an unlikely person that she ends up really liking. And so like you have that, and then you have the woman who is married with a terrible husband and has 2 kids, and like, and you have the main character who's just there going, everyone else has someone, I'm all alone. But then she learns like everyone has their problems and everyone like has their issues, so I'm really not so alone in this. And I think that was something like I needed to hear now, and something that was like, oh, this is really universal for a lot of people, because a lot of times when you are single and you look around at all these people together and you're like, fuck, what's wrong with me? But then you realize too, like there's people who are in relationships who are in really crappy relationships looking at their single friends being jealous of them, going, man, I wish I was you and had that freedom and stuff. So everyone kind of like that human thing of being jealous of other people for what they have. And it's just like, no, we're all lucky in our own ways, and we're all kind of things in our own ways. And so I liked that about this show. And they did it in a really cute and witty, like the show was really funny. So I really, really enjoyed it.
I found a lot of it incredibly relatable as a guy dating in his 30s. Dating is a strong word. As a guy attempting to date in his 30s. Especially this time of year. It's Christmas weekend. You look around, there's couples everywhere. And yeah, you have those moments of like, well, what? Like, I've been single since the Obama administration. Okay, so like, this time of year sucks. It does. There is that pressure. You know, I have a brother who's married and another brother who's, him and his girlfriend have been together forever. And you look around, and because this is also the time of year when a lot of couples get engaged. I tweeted that the other day. It's the season for all of the doomed couples getting engaged. Right. Always seems to be. So there is that pressure. I found a lot of that really relatable. the one nitpick I have, I think, is, and I've seen this in other things as well. I don't like it when, because like we want our main character to be relatable and likable, and I think for the most part she very much is.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is when the writers and the directors decide we're going to make our character more likable by having everyone around them suck. And I think there's not all the time, but there's several times in the show, whether it's like her with the family, maybe earlier on, I think, than later, but where like in the first couple episodes where it's like she's at dinner and everyone just kind of with the family and everyone just is just kind of being sucky towards her. And I'm like, what family talks to each other like that? Particularly, it's like, she's probably got a
Latinos and Italians talk to each other like that. So to me, I was like,
yeah,
this is true. This is truth.
That's fair enough. And again, I think a lot of that just speaks to how I grew up more than anything else. So from growing up in a white Catholic family,
but you would think some Catholics are just as brutal.
Yeah, not white Catholics. As a white,
a little bit more Irish Catholic.
We're a mix of Irish and Roman Catholic. So, and I consider my family very progressive Catholic. So, like, it just talking to each other like that. I was like, I just cannot picture a hot Christmas dinner in my life where I'd be sat down at the dinner with all these couples and my mom or my brother or somebody is just saying like, oh no, we're only seating couples next to each other. You go sit with the babies. Like I would walk out of that house so fast.
I can't invite you to any Latino family dinner. I'm sorry, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story when we're off camera because I don't want to take a lot of time on it. But that was just a thing for me. So if that's something that you're not accustomed to, or you don't have just that kind of cultural knowledge of, I can see how that part of it would be a little off-putting. It's just kind of like everyone around her sucks. As the show goes on, like I love how like every time we run into her sister, that wall starts to come down a little more every time. Same with the friend who's the virgin, the friend who's fun-loving, let's call it. We learn all of them, their veils come unthreaded a little bit more with each episode. In those first couple episodes, though, it's like, you're all the worst. And then as we go, it's like, okay, now we get it more. So by the end, it's overall, I think it's very relatable.
And I like that they did that because it breaks perceptions down. Because when you first see them, you're getting the stereotypical version of what that trope or that person is. Yeah. And then you're getting, no, this is what they really are like. And that's the same in real life too. Like how many times you see someone and judge them based on stereotypes or perception and then realize, oh, they're actually way better than like you thought. So I liked that the show did that. And Italians and Latinos, very similar. I guess it's just our Latin heritage. We're both Latin-based languages. And we both drink, like Cubans and Italians drink our coffee very similarly, like the espresso. So like whenever we get Cuban coffee in like a cafetera, I think it's called a percolator in English. When we gave it to several of our friends in Tennessee, one family was Italian. We're like, we know we don't need to tell you how to use this. Like everyone else, we had to explain how to.
That's funny.
And so, you are going to have your parents and family members be like, if you're single, when are you going to find someone? And then like, if you have someone, but you're not married at, when are you going to get married? And then if you're married, but don't have kids, when are you having kids? Like, and then even if you do have a kid, when are you having a second kid? Like, and so you have, that happens all the time. You have people making fun of each other. my family, I jokingly say that we're lovable assholes because like we're very witty. We're making fun of each other all the time. A lot of time and we don't get offended with each other. Sometimes it does cross a line, but most of the time it doesn't. And it's that kind of banter that you see in this show between the family. And then also what I loved with the show was the relationship between her and her dad.
Yeah.
I have a really close relationship with my dad. And that too, sometimes when like other people are being crazy and your dad's just like, I understand. Because a lot of times too, and you see this in when like it's your mom and her mom's family being crazy and your dad's like, yeah, no, I understand, come over here with the same people. And then like vice versa, that happens when like your dad's family's being crazy and your mom's like, those logos. So like it's, you see that all the time. So the making fun of each other is just kind of what Latinos and I guess Italians do too. I was watching this and I was like, wow, this is like a Latino family, but Italian.
It's not that, and I will say, like, it's not that I never had any of that. Like, I remember a specific day I give my mom so much crap for all the time when I was still learning to drive. And I was driving and my dad was in the passenger seat next to me. My mom was in the back and she just kept barking out really confusing orders, making me change lanes and speed up and slow down. And I remember just my dad sitting next to me, just like biting his tongue, shaking, laughing in the chair next to me because he knew she was being so ridiculous. I have those moments, just not as often, I guess. My best friend in college is half Puerto Rican, half Italian. His mother is full-blooded Puerto Rican, his dad's full-blooded Italian, and they're from New York. So, and his name is Vinny, and he's a mechanic. So, just as a comedian, having a friend that's just ticking all the stereotype check boxes is amazing. But going over to his house was always a learning experience because they would say some of just the rudest shit to each other constantly, followed up by an I love you. And I'm just sitting there like,
and we don't take offense too.
They never, and I remember sitting back just like, should I leave? Like,
nope.
but his parents were always nice as shit to me because I for a while. Then it got to the point where
we're nice to the outside world. We're nicer to other people than we are to ourselves.
until I went there enough to the point where she was like, no, you're basically an adopted son now. You're gonna take it like the rest of them. I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Eventually, if you hang around too long, eventually it's like, no, you get the family treatment now. Which I'm honored. So yeah, I think
the food's good, like Italian food and Puerto Rican food. Oh, so good.
I went over for Thanksgiving one time, and it kind of like ruined the ham his mom made. Ruined hams for me. Oh my god, it ruined ham. Like no ham is ever compared. Anyway, I'm starving. The show, I think ultimately, like my nitpicks aside, I think it's a nice, sweet, fun little romantic comedy. The stuff with her dad, I agree, was definitely my favorite. You know, especially in the month of December, my dad's on my mind a lot, and so getting to see that, because there's been a lot of that, I think, this year in television, with kind of the mom being one and the dad just kind of being the rooting for his kid in the back corner. We saw it in She-Hulk. We saw it in Ms. Marvel. We saw I don't know if you've seen Wednesday, Net, but we see elements of it a couple different times in Wednesday on Netflix. So I like that there's been a good bit of that where it's just kind of like normally in like the old ways of entertainment, it was the dad was the hard ass and the mom was just kind of out there going like, I'm with you, baby. Now we can see like, look, parents love their kids.
Moms can be shitty too.
Yeah, and dads can be big old teddy bears. It's great. So it's so I like that.
My mom is wonderful. I love my mom.
My mother is a saint. My mother she keeps talking about driving over here and bringing me stuff in this horse shit, and I'm like, I'm good, Ma. I'm fine.
My mom is currently right now making lechon, which is our pork, and I'm just like, I'm so happy right now.
I had a Hot Pocket for lunch. I didn't feel like cooking. It's freezing cold. So yeah, I think it's a nice, sweet show. It's something, if you want something, just some lighthearted fare that's Christmassy to an extent. I think this is a good one. And if either
good.
Yeah, it's feel good. And either if you speak Italian or don't mind some passable British dubs, the dubs fine. It's fine. It's not Squid Game bad, but
there
fine.
was times where I was just like, is this Italian or is this British humor? Like when it was watching
Yeah.
with the British dub and there was something like they said it, and I was like, is that Italian slang or British slang? Like, and I think there was a few times that I asked Bogz, I was just like, I need to ask you what
Yeah.
this is.
And I think for the most part with that translation, I think they did okay. Like,
yeah, they did a pretty good job.
Like when they were pronouncing the stuff in Italian, I think they nailed the accent fairly well, the pronunciation very well. Yeah. But it is what it is. It's
you notice sometimes they said sometimes they would say the names in the Italian way and sometimes they would say it in the British way.
Yeah. there were a few times where I was like, they pronounced that same word two different ways in the same sentence.
Yes.
Like her name, Gianna. I heard her fun loving friend call her by her name like 3 different ways in the same scene. And I was like, okay. you gotta just have to
you gotta the British people, you gotta give them a little leeway when it comes to pronouncing foreign stuff.
And voice acting alone is not easy, and having to voice act dubbing someone else's performance, like that's I don't
also give that leeway to Americans as well. When you're pronouncing foreign stuff, then you give a little leeway.
Yeah, look, they're trying.
Yeah,
not like they're at the Mexican restaurant ordering a quesadilla. Anyway, yeah. So it's fine. Give it a shot. Check it out this weekend while you're snowed in and it's freezing cold outside. Like a lot of us are going to be this weekend. If you want something,
if you're cold for South Florida, which tomorrow it's going to be in the 40s and 50s. The fuck?
It was 42 yesterday.
75 right now.
It's -4 right now. It's so cold. It's so cold. Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. If you celebrate, if you don't,
Happy Hanukkah.
Hanukkah is still going on. Any of the I grew up white, guys. I'm trying here. I really am. I promise you, I'm trying. But happy holidays to everybody. And if you observe nothing, then a generic weekend to you and yours. I don't know. Go watch Family Guy. I guess it's still on. I'm rewatching it right now. It's my background show. So, but yeah, happy holidays, everybody. Saul, anything you want to say?
No, just goodbye. Okay, happy holidays.
Saul doesn't want. Yeah, Saul doesn't want to wish you happy holidays. She's like,
I already did.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
I don't remember.
Holidays. I don't know if you can hear right now. We're cleaning the house. There's some holiday music that just was put on right now. I don't know if you can hear it in the background or not. Oh, holy night. But happy holidays.
Thank God it's public domain. We're safe. Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. And we'll see you guys again here next time on Off the Wall. Bye.